All right, if you've ever wrangled a database, you know some tools are just functional, and some, well, some are genuinely elegant. Today, we're going to talk about one of the elegant ones, a feature that can seriously change the game for how you handle complex data, the SQL View. Okay, let's be real for a second. You've been there, right? You need to pull what seems like a simple piece of information, but to get it, you have to write this ridiculously complicated query, joining table after table after table. It's just frustrating. I call this the data maze because that's exactly what it feels like. You know the answer is in there somewhere, but finding it feels like you're solving a brand new puzzle every single time. I mean, think about it. All your customer info is in one place. Their orders are in a completely different table, and the product details are stashed away somewhere else entirely. So to get that one complete picture, you have to manually stitch everything together. And that query, oh, it doesn't just get long. It becomes this tangled, unreadable beast that's a total nightmare to maintain later on. But what if you could just create a clean, simple window? A window that shows you exactly the data you need and hides all that messy complexity underneath. Well, my friends, that is precisely what a SQL view is for. So what is this thing, really? A SQL view is basically a stored query that your database treats like a virtual table. You can think of it as your own personal, custom-made lens that you put over your data, showing you a perfectly tailored view of just the columns and rows you care about. Now, this is the part you really need to get. A view does not store any data itself at all. It's just a saved recipe, a query that runs fresh every single time you access it. This means the data you see is always up to date, and the view itself takes up practically zero storage space. It's just a pointer. Okay, to make this idea really click, let's use an analogy. Imagine your entire database is just one giant, sprawling library. The library, with its thousands of books scattered across tons of different sections, that's your complex database. Now, you wouldn't just wander through every single aisle to find one book, would you? No way. You'd go straight to the library catalog, and that catalog, that's your SQL view. It's a simple, organized guide that tells you exactly where to find what you need, shielding you from the chaotic layout of the shelves. You deal with a simple catalog, not the messy, complex library. So, why should you even bother creating views? Well, it all boils down to three huge benefits: simplicity, security, and stability. Yep, these three S's are what make views an absolutely indispensable tool in your toolbox. Let's break down each one. First up, simplicity. You can take that gnarly 50-line monster of a query and hide all that complexity behind a single, friendly named view. Now, anyone on your team can just query that simple view. They get the data they need instantly without ever having to see or understand the messy logic under the hood. Next up, security. And this one is a huge deal. Let's say you have an employee table with sensitive stuff like salary information. You can create a view that only shows the employee names and their departments, but leaves out the salary column. By giving people access to the view instead of the table, you're enforcing what's called the principle of least privilege. They see only what they absolutely need to see and nothing more. And finally, stability. Oh man, this one is a lifesaver. Picture this. You decide to split a name column into first name and last name. If your applications query that table directly, they all just broke. Every single one. But if they're querying a view, you just update the view's logic to piece the two new columns back together. Your applications,
They don't even know anything changed. It's a powerful shield between your database and your code.
All right, enough theory. Let's see how this actually works in a practical, real-world example.
So imagine you're building a sales dashboard. You know the drill. It needs customer names, order dates, order totals, all data that's spread across a few different tables. Instead of making your dashboard run that complex join every single time it refreshes, you just create one clean view that has all the info ready to go.
And the lifecycle is super straightforward. You start with Create View to pull together the customer names and order dates. Then, a few weeks later, marketing wants to see the order totals. No problem. You just use Alter View to add that new column. And if that dashboard project gets retired someday, a quick Drop View and everything is cleaned up. The syntax is simple, but the power it gives you is immense. You know, there's a quote in the source material that just nails it. It says that views are like virtuoso conductors. They take the chaos of all the raw data and they bring harmony and order to it, presenting this beautiful, structured performance to your users and your apps. I just love that. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. What messy, ugly query in your own work could you simplify right now? I bet one just popped into your head, didn't it? Go turn it into a clean, simple, and reusable view. Your future self is going to thank you for it. Happy querying.